The crypto market just completely reset. Now you might be questioning, Nick, what does that even mean? We're going to be talking about it in this video. So with that being said, welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Nick. For those that are new to the channel, hopefully by the end of this video, you all do become a subscriber. So let's talk a little bit about what we just saw, right? So Bitcoin was running significantly. We almost cracked $73,000. We did not hit, well, actually, we went over a little bit, $73,000. We did not hit a new all-time high, though, right? That new all-time high still stands from roughly 8 months ago on March 14th at $73,750. And if we actually look at just the last 1 month high, we were at $73,577. We were so close to a new all-time high. But until we actually see a new all-time high reclaimed on Bitcoin, we can't get too ahead of ourselves. And also, this entire week that's coming up, starting Monday, I want you all to understand that it is going to get extremely volatile. I want to interrupt the video real quick to let you guys know that I have officially partnered up with Bybit, the third largest crypto exchange out there, to offer you guys exclusive rewards and benefits when signing up with my link down in the description below. There's over $30,000 plus worth of welcome rewards that could be yours right now. All you have to do is sign up, trade, and utilize the exchange. This is one of the best exchanges out there, 24/7 support. Massive amounts of trading volume in a 24-hour period. They have access to pretty much any market that you can think of around crypto. So what are you guys waiting for? Go and sign up utilizing my link down in the description below and have a good time trading. Meaning we could see potential wicks that go all the way down to 65K. Sometimes, things can get out of control with liquidation, so you never know. But this is to be expected. Now, all of this did happen because of one thing, which we will outline, but also we see dominance on Bitcoin now reaching over 60%. Right now it's sitting at 58.9, but it did hit 60% at some points during the sell-off yesterday, and this is actually very bullish. And the reason why I say that is because we are closer to the top on Bitcoin dominance than ever before. And also, if you look at the fear and greed index, what's funny about this? The fear and greed index is now at levels that we saw back in May, right before the market went even lower. So that's why I say, just be cautious here. We don't have to go lower, but it is, something that could happen, especially with volatility. Now, all of this is happening because of stocks. So in one single day, nearly $1 trillion was erased from the US stock market, marking the biggest drop in months, only days ahead of the election. Now, I keep telling you guys, volatility is going to, be crazy, especially for the next roughly, 7 to like 10 days or so. Now, after that, we should start to cool off and the market should start to rebound heavily. Again, this is like the same typical price action every single time around elections. So this is to be expected. Now, during this time, the best thing that I could say is have those stablecoins on the sidelines. I told you guys that in, one of the previous videos as well. And this is exactly why. Okay. Now, I did also put out a post in the Discord for those that are Discord members. Again, this was completely free. You did not have to pay for this information or anything like that. I said that we officially closed above the March highs on the 3-day. Next up is the weekly, which is what we want to see. We did not get that. Obviously, the weekly candle close is not here yet, but I said that we are looking pretty good currently. Also be aware that we could still pull back to $68,300 to about $69,450, roughly before continuation. We should welcome it technically for healthy PA to form. We are now in the process of getting this pullback. So as we really look at this, okay, I want you all to understand that we are in that point of the cycle where, yes, elections are here. Yes, volatility is peaking. Yes, Bitcoin dominance is so high. But this is all of the early, stage events that lead us into these markets going crazy. And just to really kind of focus on that real quick, let's talk about that. So we have here absolutely absurd amounts of Bitcoin is being bought OTC by institutions, which you can see on chain. It's very clear. When they have enough, they will, have the media blast news about a new Bitcoin all-time high. Retail will then flock to Coinbase. where there will be no supply left. Price will go nuclear as planned. Now, obviously, there's a little bit of, some engagement farming here, but yeah, this is probably going to happen. And the reason why I say that is because when we look at BlackRock, when we look at these big players that are now a part of this space, they control the media. Why do you think that we've been seeing Bitcoin for like the last roughly, week or so on CNBC? It's because the big players are trying to get, retail to flock back. But once we start to see them really pushing Bitcoin, we're talking about, Bitcoin to 500,000, Bitcoin to 750,000, Bitcoin to 1 million. That's when you need to start becoming a little bit cautious and aware. Outside of this, we have been seeing a lot of great news. For an example, this one over here, Visa and Coinbase partner to enable instant crypto purchases via debit cards. Also this one, Coinbase expects 20% of global GDP to run on crypto, comparing it to the rise of e-commerce. Also, the US Treasury shares a report on digital assets in the Treasury market. Crypto has become too big to ignore. Again, if you are holding altcoins right now, I want you guys to understand that yes, altcoins suck right now. I'm going to be the first one to tell you guys that altcoins are terrible. If we look at the last 24 hours, this is the green, this is the red. There is a lot of red across the board. And as we look at some altcoins, let's just say XRP for an example. This is the last year on XRP. Again, it's down 13.5% on the last year. If we go all the way back to the bear market lows, it's up slightly. It's nothing too crazy. And this is what most altcoins look like right now. Now, of course, you could say, all right, well, what about Solana? That's okay. That's fine. I understand that there is a lot of altcoins that are up significantly in the 1 year. Solana obviously is a great performer due to the meme coin cycle. There's a lot of outliers, but I want you guys to understand that, altcoins like XRP typically run last. I always say this to everyone because I feel as though everyone completely forgets this every cycle. XRP typically runs last. But if you are holding XRP, if you are holding HBAR, if you're holding XLM, if you're holding any of these altcoins, I want you guys to understand that you should actually be preparing right now. Not concerned about price action, but preparing, because you should have an exit plan in place for when things really start to pick up, because you don't have much time. From this point on, you do not have much time. And I know that you've probably heard that a million times, but elections are here. Go back in time and look at the previous market cycles when we have elections. It is ripe for massive growth right now. Now, outside of this, we also have over here, Hong Kong says they will issue more crypto exchange licenses by the end of 2024. All of these announcements just happened in the last roughly 48 hours. So as we really look at what's going on, yeah, sure, the market is selling off, but it is selling off to reset sentiment, reset the greed cycle, and also just reset the complete market. Get everything back down, have a healthy pullback, reset open interest. It's the typical healthy price action that we are aware of. Now, one thing that I will say is that if we lose 68K, just be cautious, because we could quickly wick down to 65. But I also want to share real quick this post here from Kaleo. This is actually a great insight because, again, I look at the past and I really try to, see the patterns. And this one actually spoke greatly to me. We have when Bitcoin retested its previous all-time high near 20K in late 2020, it didn't immediately rip past it. It initially pulled back on a quick wick, nearly 20%. Thanksgiving 2020 was a Black Friday sale, especially for alts, and accumulated in a range for 30 days prior to breaking out. The breakout happened 219 days after the May 2020 halving. We're in a similar spot now, retesting the all-time high almost 200 days post-2024 halving. A little bit of a pullback here isn't any reason for concern. You'll probably feel it the most in your alts because, again, Bitcoin dominance is well over 60%, but those will also be the ones that rip back the hardest. More than anything now, it is time to position yourself for the move up that's coming. Like I said, prepare for what's about to happen. And to make sure that you're not in a position where a pullback will shake you out prior to that move. This is still the calm before the storm. Be more bullish. And yes, I do think that everyone should be, more bullish here. I mean, if we go back in time, the overall structure here, the overall setup is so similar to that 2020 timeframe and even previous altcoin cycles or just bull cycles in general that I don't think people realize where we are at right now cyclical wise. They still think that we have another, 200 days to accumulate or, oh, nothing's going to happen, so who cares? I want you guys to understand that as we look at altcoins like XRP or HBAR or XLM or all these other altcoins that are getting absolutely hammered, this is happening because of Bitcoin dominance grinding to the upside for the last, well over a year now, while Bitcoin continues to chop to the upside and downside since going all the way back to March. So if we think about that, yes, altcoins are obviously going to suck because we're not in an altcoin cycle yet. We are in a Bitcoin market. But last but not least, I also want to play this clip here because this is on CNBC and they are still throwing the bait to the retail crowd. Florida's chief financial officer says if you are not paying attention to Bitcoin, you are making a mistake. And this was on Halloween, October 31st at 11:15 a.m. Check it out.
Next guest is pushing to invest Florida state pension funds into crypto. Let's bring in Florida CFO Jimmy Patronis. And it's good to see you again. It's been a while, Mr. Patronis.
Great to be with you, Joe.
This, I guess, is in response to some, comments from former President Trump regarding a U.S. strategic crypto reserve, which, interestingly, would follow something that we've seen in Wisconsin and Michigan. And you sent a letter to the State Board of Administration, I guess, sort of pitching this idea. It's not something that I guess a lot of people think is with the fiduciary responsibilities of state pensions. They don't maybe always think of crypto or Bitcoin in that respect. Why do you?
Well, crypto's not going anywhere. It's not going to contract. It's going to continue to be expanding. And I think we'd be a fool if we're not prepared to do everything we can to harness the opportunities there. Yes, I'm a fiduciary over the state's pension funds, and I need to make sure that the legislature is armed with all the tools and resources. So I put it to our SBA investment team. Let's get all the tools on the dashboard. Let's look at everything that we can do to possibly leverage this opportunity. I'm very bullish on Florida. You can probably figure that out by now. But as we had 400,000 new net Floridians come to Florida last year alone, our state's reserves are 4 times now higher than they were in 2020. So again, we're in a good place. I like to pay down debt. I see there's an opportunity that's very bright with Florida's future, but we need to be prepared for what crypto can bring to our investment portfolio.
Do you think China is trying to fool the rest of the world into thinking they're not interested in crypto? I mean, they've in the past, they've said some negative things about Bitcoin. You think we need to stay ahead technologically and that China, in fact, is making and is interested in making inroads into crypto?
No, look, if you're not paying attention to it, you're making a mistake. It is real. It's not going anywhere. I mean, again, like I said, I'm very bullish on Florida. We saw a surge of cryptocurrency interest and activity as we had 2020 in Miami. I think that at one point you're going to see Miami as the crypto capital of the world. But I'm going to continue to push forward to make sure that we're doing everything possible to take advantage of this. It's not emerging. It's here.
Jimmy, this is an interesting, just a quote. Recently, Governor DeSantis also leaned forward to protect the personal finances of Floridians from government overreach and woke corporate monitoring, and by signing legislation to fight back against the central bank digital currency, CBDC. So you're actually looking at this, the CBDC is a centralized currency, which is sort of the antithesis to what crypto or Bitcoin aims to be. So there's a sort of a tinge of some political rhetoric in that comment there. So you think that the government's going to continue to print too much money? You think Bitcoin is a way for Floridians to maintain purchasing power?
Thank you for making those points, because that's exactly where our head is on this. We look at the failed policies of Washington. I hope President Trump is going to be able to turn around, but I don't think it's going to happen overnight. He's walking into a real mess. but we need to be able to have a hedge against this massive overreach by the federal government with a centralized currency. Look, I don't want the federal government knowing when my son went to the grocery store to go buy a bag of Doritos at 2:15 in the afternoon. So we need to have some protections in place. And I think where we make it a welcome and interesting expansion of dialogues in Florida, and maybe even a greater expansion. We have about $800 million in crypto-related investments in our state portfolio, but I would not be shocked to be able to see that growing under a Trump administration in the near future.
And again, these are the types of conversations that are happening right now on mainstream media. When we think about what's going on right now, they are really pushing the Bitcoin narrative. They're pushing crypto. They're pushing it for, the anti-CBDC motive as well. It's only a matter of time. And when I say that, it's only a matter of time until we see the largest crypto cycle in history. I've said it many times. I even pushed this over on X the other day, talking about how far away we are from making, a new all-time high. Once we have that, guys, I'm telling you right now, once Bitcoin goes in price discovery, mainstream media is going to go insane. The flood is going to come back as well. It's not me trying to sell you guys the used car. We've seen these cycles time and time and time again. This is not some new thing. We know exactly how these cycles work. Those that are sitting here complaining about their altcoin performance, crying the blues in the comments, it's not going to help your altcoins, but it shows you that these are new investors. They don't understand how the cycles work. We have Bitcoin go crazy. Bitcoin dominance goes crazy with it. Then we start to see dominance usurped from Bitcoin, and we start to see the focus put on Ethereum. Once we see that, and once Ethereum starts to fade, we see altcoins quickly follow it with some very significant runs. And some altcoins lag behind, and some of them, they run at the last little bit of the cycle, usually showing us that the top is in. So I want you guys to understand that, yeah, we have a little bit more time, but it's not that much time. We are technically almost there. And I do completely agree with Kaleo over here. I do think that everyone should have a plan right now. If you don't, I'm telling you guys, you are going to get surprised very quick. So with that being said, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys definitely leave a like, subscribe, to notifications on because of my free content. You guys are more than welcome to follow me on Twitter and join the free Discord in the description below. And with that being said, guys, it's been Nick. Thanks for watching. Peace out.